Hi, welcome to the Diane Ingram Show. I'm your host, life coach Diane Ingram. Today I'm going to be coaching Amy Foster, wife, mother, business owner, librarian. She's got a nice full life there. Last time she was on, she talked about wanting to clean up the corner in her kitchen and how every time she walks through her kitchen, which is probably multiple times during the day, she looks at it and kind of cringes and says, "Ugh, I hate that." So by cleaning up that corner, it will hopefully free up a lot of energy for Amy. But one of the things I talked about last time was giving herself permission to have a messy corner for a while, because she has so many things going on in her lives, as many of us do. Many of us are wives, mothers, fathers, husbands, business owners, community board members, involved in clubs, organizations, chambers. The list goes on and on. So it makes complete sense that sometimes our physical environment in our house is a bit chaotic. We run in, drop our things down, change our clothes, run off to the next event. But what we don't sometimes realize is how that affects us. Every time Amy walked past that counter that was cluttered, she was cringing and she was kind of, ugh, and she was feeling bad about herself. Oftentimes when we have cluttered areas in our house, we fall into the terrible trap of comparing ourselves to other people. We walk into somebody else's house and see it all nice and neat, and we feel like something's wrong with us because we can't stay on top of it. So there's great value in taking the time to clean up those areas of our life. Sometimes it's a matter of just finding a half an hour each day, or a half an hour a couple times a week, or maybe an afternoon on the weekend, and just starting to tackle those areas. It's remarkable how much better we feel when we clean out these cluttered areas of our life. When we look at our area that we live in, we find a comfortable nest, a soft place to fall, instead of a bunch of clutter that's kind of clogging up our life. So stay tuned. In a few minutes, we'll be with Amy and see where she's at with her corner in her kitchen. Hi, I'm your host, Diane Ingram, and today I'm with Amy Foster, businesswoman, wife, mother, busy lady, librarian at a school, lots of things going on in your life. And last we met, we're getting back together again. Last time we met, you wanted to organize your home better. And one of the areas you started with was your kitchen counter. And we have some pictures that I want to show now of the before. And then the after. So what happened between those two times?
I think I left here with a clearer picture of what I needed to do and how to do it. I think I knew the what. It was clearing it out and getting rid of a lot of this stuff. But I think you helped me see that, first giving myself permission to feel okay about being so busy, that it was something that had gotten away from me and that had been a little bit more than I could handle at any one time. So what I chose to do was tackle it a little bit at a time, but to schedule that into my day so that I would make sure it would happen. Otherwise, as life gets in the way, it would just still be that condition.
So yes, there's things in our life that we want to include, but if we don't put them on our schedule, they just don't happen. And oftentimes they have to do with our own personal issues, because we want to give priority to we need to give priority to our jobs or our careers. We need to give priority to our children at various times, our husbands, our homes, various other commitments in our life. And the things that are important to us often get squeezed out of that. So good for you for finding the time in your busy life, which you have a lot of moving parts in your busy life. So good for you for finding the time. And was there a particular time of day that was good for you?
Not universally, but I found I could squeeze it in. Sometimes it was in the morning. I would take a half an hour before going to work, you know, get one, well, she's the only daughter at home now, but off to the bus, and then I would have a half an hour when I dedicated myself to it. And then other times, you know, it was in the evening or after work or something else. But I did find that having that as a goal and also, you know, just knowing I was going to have to come back and tell you about it was a good piece too.
Yeah, accountability is huge. When you, and it doesn't have to be me or a life coach or a TV show. It can be a friend, a family member. It can be anyone who you can kind of report back to and say, this is the progress. And hopefully it's a supportive person who will go, good job, baby. Yeah. Yeah. So the half an hour, was it usually a half an hour that you set aside?
It was usually a half an hour. And when I got started, I had to tell myself to stop because I would tend to immerse myself in that and, you know, and then have other things that were getting not done. So I would tell myself, okay, I'm going to give myself 7 to 7:30 in the morning and then go shower and go to work. And that would be a good time because there was a finite end to that period of time that I scheduled in. So that worked, and it little by little did get better. I found stuff on that counter that, I mean, I was surprised there weren't pacifiers there for my 21-year-old. But
well, I also want to just point out what you just said, which is really important, that it's important to schedule a time where you're going to begin, but it's also important to schedule a time when you're going to end because like you said, as you got more involved, you were wanting to stick with it, which if you had the time to do that would be great. If you don't have the time, you may end up resenting the time you put for that, or it may just throw off your whole day. Right. So by putting a beginning and ending, you were able to do small chunks of it and then stay on top of the rest of the things that you needed to tend to in your day.
Right.
And I'm wondering how did that make you feel when you had to stop? Did you feel frustrated by that, or did you feel like, oh, I can't wait to get to it tomorrow?
Yeah, more the second, more like, I mean, I was like, oh, you know, I'd love to, you know, do a little bit more. Oh, that one needs to, that side should get attention now. But it was also very satisfying to say, okay, no, I've given myself that amount of time. I'm going to take that time and then move on to the next thing.
Wonderful. And then when you started the process, what did you learn about what was there, or where to put it? You know, I mean, did you need to find places to put those things, or did you already have places that it just hadn't made it to yet? Or
most of the things I found, the best place was in the trash. There was no reason to hold on to a lot of the things. And, you know, there were exceptions, but, and there's still a little section, if you look again at the picture there on the left, that's not quite tackled yet, that, you know, needs to get help. I need to get help to work on that area, but it's okay.
And what kind of help do you need for that?
Well, I need some other people in the house to help. And,
okay.
You know, it's not my things, but what I did find there was to put it all in one section so that it's kind of segmented.
Okay.
And you'll see again in the picture. I was just showing a friend the before and after picture, and I was really amazed because I hadn't looked at that way, you know, until today. So it was gratifying. It was nice to see the before and after.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's another piece to pay attention to when you're doing projects. Take a before picture and see what it looks like after, and acknowledge yourself for all the hard work. The other piece that I wanted to pull in was, are there any new ways of being that that you've decided to change in order to not have this go back to the way it was?
I think more daily, or if not daily. I mean, over the holidays, you know, a few things found their way to that counter, but that's just because there's only so much space in the kitchen and so many people using this space. But mostly, for the most part, you know, on a pretty much daily basis, I'm clearing it out. You know, the mail doesn't pile up quite so much. I'm getting that into the recycle and putting, you know, just not letting it pile up more than, you know, maybe 2 days, 3 days.
So you're taking a little bit of time each day to kind of go through the mail and get rid of what you don't want, and some of those things that collected there before, you're able to stay on top of them on a more regular basis?
Yeah, yeah, just giving myself that time. Like before, I would just, you know, go to bed, not think about it. Now, you know, I put the coffee on, take a couple minutes to tend to that area, and then it feels a lot better to come downstairs in the morning and see it.
Wow, yeah, that was my next question. How does this impact your life now that you've cleaned up this space and organized it?
It really feels great. Sitting at the kitchen table, which is where I sat and looked up the day that I decided to do this project and was horrified at what I saw. It feels much better now sitting at the same spot and looking up and saying, oh, okay, it's not quite so bad. There's still room for improvement, but having a work in progress isn't a bad thing either.
Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if you can give me some qualities, the way that it impacts you, because sometimes we don't really clue in to exactly like all the benefits that come for something as simple as cleaning up this space that you see all the time when you walk in the house, right? And you talked before about how it kind of, when you see it there, it would make you feel not so good about things. But having it different, like, are there some ways in which you feel different about life?
I definitely feel a little clearer, and I've been able to take that into other areas, still of the house and organization. I, kind of have started into my office area, and again, things that I don't know why I kept, files and trainings that I took years ago that I have no reason to hold on to. And organizing, again, I'm a librarian. I think I mentioned that the first time. So having things unorganized, and not being able to find things was, not quite, I don't think shameful is the right word, but I didn't feel great about that. So being able to now go into my file, which is in another room, but I've taken the same process to doing that, I can now find things. They're now, as silly as alphabetical files. I can now put my hands on things more easily. So it's a better feeling. It's I don't know, I feel more confident slightly, I don't know.
So if you were feeling pieces of shamefulness before, what's the flip side of that?
I guess
do you think?
pride.
Pride, yeah. Okay, so feeling
pride
proud
at being able to accomplish something, and also being able to find things better.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if this project gave you fuel or any kind of energy to move to other areas of your house. It sounds like you've already started to do that a little bit, maybe in your office?
Yes.
So tell me about that.
And I actually have a friend I showed, because she's one of the people who has, said, oh, I'll come down and help you one day with that corner, because it's always been that corner. And I showed her, and she was impressed, and was in the office in a closet, and she's like, okay, that's next, right? So I was like, yeah, that's next.
And do you think she'll be providing some support for that, or
she will.
Hands-on,
if I
or
ask
just
her. Yeah, she'd come down. We've talked for months. That's why this is such a big thing. We've talked for months about her coming down and just helping me, go through it. It's never happened, so tackling it myself was the next best thing. And so, maybe we'll move on together to do the next project.
And does she do the same business you do, or is there some?
No.
Oh, she's just a friend.
Yeah, friend
okay.
who lives at the school.
So if you were to commit to something between now and the next time we meet, because you've agreed that you'd like to come back on the show, so what do you think it might be? Would it be in the area of organization and more places in your home, or?
I think so. I think that it's a good place for me for a lot of different reasons to take maybe another area or two, as this one did kind of expand into 2 areas, 1.5 areas. I could finish the second half of that, of the office and the next room, and then take it to other places too.
So specifically, because it's very important for us to be specific in our commitments, and then, if we don't quite get there or things change, we make room for that. But to be very, very specific, then we know when we've gotten there. So if you were to commit to something between now and the next time we meet, what would it be? Would it be the rest of the office, or?
No, the files are pretty much done. So,
okay.
That's kind of taken, that was a bonus.
Okay.
I would say the closet it's actually a dining room closet, but I use it as my office closet. So that would be good.
Okay. And will you use some of the same things that you did to clean up this corner, as in scheduling it and a beginning and ending time, and maybe getting support for that?
Yeah.
What do you think the payoff would be if you had this office closet in your dining room organized and cleaned up?
I really feel like I could be a better team leader to my team. I would have a better, maybe more confidence at building my business, and just having the wherewithal. I have the wherewithal and the knowledge, but there's something that's kind of would help to clear that part up. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm
Tell me a little more about
around.
that.
That I have been building a business, as you know, in addition to working.
Is your Arbonne?
Arbonne consultant, and so health and wellness products in addition to skincare and that kind of thing. And that's kind of what my dining room is we call it my Arbonne room,
Okay.
and that closet. But I feel like I could better help other people building businesses if I had a better handle on that physical space.
Okay. And what size team do you head up?
Well, any given day it changes, but there are, there are 4 to 6 people working with me right now as team members, and about 100 who just purchase
Wow.
wonderful
That's a lot
products.
of people. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, organizing our physical space is critical to us having a clear head and being able to move forward in life. And it seems like such a, I don't know, like not an important thing sometimes. But as you're saying, mundane. But as you're saying, by having that organized, can you think of some specific ways that will support you in being clear in your business?
Yes, just the files that I was talking about, I saw, okay, I've done this training, but what am I doing right now? How could I best help people right now in my business and their businesses? It's not by going back to the training I went to, 5 years ago and seeing how we did things. I don't need that. Let's just start
current.
here and move on.
Yeah. So
move
by having
forward.
things in place and being current with where you are, you can probably think clearer too, because when we know how to put our hands on things we need in the moment, then it's easier to kind of have space for creative thinking and clearer thinking. Very nice. So office closet and dining room will make you a better team leader, more confidence. Anything else that will come out of that, or any other things that you want to commit to?
I think that's a good chunk, and
Okay.
I can already see how that can help me help other people. Really,
Okay. All right.
Which is my goal. So.
All right. Well, I look
Okay.
forward to having you back on and
As do
hearing
I.
how it goes. And maybe we'll see a before and after picture of that. Was that okay?
That would be a good thing.
Okay, good.
Great.
Thanks so much, Amy.
Thank you,
All
Diane.
right. Bye. Welcome back. Today we talked with Amy about cleaning her kitchen corner, and she had success. And she's talking about how good it feels. And one of the things that allowed her to be successful was she chunked it down into half-hour segments. Even though she wanted to keep going sometimes, she knew that if she didn't stop, it was going to mess up her schedule for the rest of the day, and then she'd just get frustrated. So that's a technique we can use to gradually chip away with some of the clutter in our life. I have found a book that's very helpful in understanding how that clutter actually affects us. The book that I really like is called Move Your Stuff, Change Your Life. And this is a book, it says How to Use Feng Shui to Get Love, Money, Respect, and Happiness. And the author is Karen Rosh Carter. What I like about this book is it talks about the principles of Feng Shui, which I'll go into in a minute. But it's also very practical, things to do to kind of help move the energy through our homes. Because believe it or not, Feng Shui, which is an ancient Oriental idea of energy in your home, in your space, has been around for a long time. So I believe it has value. So what they talk about in Feng Shui, one of the pieces is called the Bagram. And this is a layout here. And if you put your doorway, I believe the front door is down here, different segments of the house represent different areas of our lives. So for instance, down here is skills and knowledge, career, helpful people and travel, family, health, creativity and children, prosperity, fame, relationship, marriage. So the belief is if those areas are clogged, it's going to actually affect those areas of our life. There's also colors that go with it, as well as elements. Wood is in the area of prosperity, fire in fame, earth in marriage and relationship, and there's metal down here in helpful people and travels, as well as creativity and children, water in career, and earth again in skills and knowledge. So this is a fun way to kind of look at your house and find out which areas are cluttered, and look at your life and see if it's having an impact on your life. Once again, you can approach this with an attitude of kind of fun and just checking it out. But this book was going to help you get ideas about how to unclutter that space and how to make the energy flow a little better. Some of it's using candles, some of it's using chimes, some of it's mirrors. If it's a dark corner, it's to move the light and move the energy in your home. So check it out. It's a fun way to approach organizing your home and getting the energy to flow better. Thank you. Because she'll have more clarity in her life and in her head that'll help her be a better leader for her team, and will be a better example for them also by being organized. Another thing, value to being organized, is when you want something, you can put your hands on it and you know where it's at. There's a great time saver in that. So I'd like you to look at your home. We also talked about feng shui, so look at your home. Maybe get a book on feng shui and see how that works as far as the areas of your life that might be cluttered, how they link up with the areas of your home. But just see what would be the most impactful part of your life, part of your home, to clear up. And email me. I'd like to hear how it goes. There is such great pleasure and freedom and clarity and all kinds of wonderful things that happen. Sense of accomplishment when we clear up our homes and have freer space, freer energy going through. We just feel good all over. It allows us to be more effective in the world because, number one, we've accomplished something in our own homes. We've cleared our nests, so to speak, and we're more comfortable there. We feel more relaxed while we're there. And it clears the space for us to be able to come and go with all the things we need and be able to find them, to go out in the world and live the fulfilled life we want to be living and share our gifts with the world. Because after all, that's what we're here for, is to be in touch with our purpose and share our gifts with the world. And it starts with having a clear, organized space to launch from. So check it out. See what areas you need to organize in your home in order to have a clear, flowing space. Reach out to me and let me know what you discover about yourself. Because remember, what we're here to do is to live our purpose. So go for it. The time is now. Live that life you've always dreamed to be living. Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but now. Thank you.